when it comes to a lot of events, a lot of us are doing one-on-one appointments, the sales activities that need to happen, and we need to make that process a lot easier. And our next speaker, Mahir, is going to talk about how can you do one-on-one appointments so simply. It's going to make your life easier. So let me hear the last, final ETL main stage welcome for Mahir. Woo! Come on, let's get you up on stage. Mahir, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, come on, you're good.
All right, is this on? Yeah? All right, hello everyone. I'm Mihir with ePlannerPro. As the title says here, we are the B2B meeting scheduling and management software for trade show exhibitors. This is mainly, we mainly target for the exhibitors who exhibit at the trade show. They spend so much money, they're looking for their ROI. And when they're looking for the ROI, they want to make sure that they maximized all of their team members who attended the show, all of their time, as well as they didn't double book or overbook the meeting space, the meeting rooms or demo tables, etc. And they also want to maximize their RSVP activities while making sure they don't go over the quota. That's where we come in. We help those exhibitors solve that problem. How do we do that? Well, when it comes to trade show, exhibiting at the trade show, efficiently managing meetings and appointments using right tools equals success. So how do we do that? Well, ePlannerPro is that right tool, is what I'm trying to tell you guys here. Well, we offer that. We are offering all kinds of features, things like meeting room availability feature, people availability, which is very important. You don't want to double book people. You want to set up custom branded meeting request forms. You want to get them through scheduled automatically or get them through approval process and then scheduled. You also want to make sure that when the meeting is scheduled, everyone is sent the correct email confirmations as well as calendar notices that are focused on based on attendee types. So for example, the host, you might want to send some kind of a content in the calendar notice versus the external attendee, the client, you may want to send something else. We also have other features like where you may want to block a meeting room slot. So there are many times where your executive may tell you that, hey, on Tuesday, I'm possibly going to have a meeting 2 to 3. Can you go ahead and block a room for me? I don't have the details yet, but just block it. Well, we have a feature where you can block the meeting room. We can also block executives' calendars for unavailability because as you always know, not everyone's always available at every single minute of the trade show attendance. Many times they have to take some important calls on the side that they want to make sure they don't get requested for a meeting at the same time. So that's where you can go in and ePlannerPro mark their schedule as unavailable for that time. You can also assign subject matter experts to the topics. So when somebody requests specific topics, automatically they can only schedule that appointment if the subject matter expert is available. This allows you, of course, this helps you avoid the double booking of meeting space as well as double booking of people. And then, of course, we have other features like on-site check-in for the meetings or RSVP activities or the demos, etc. Of course, just like any other time, everyone at the end of the day needs reporting functionality. Not only we have some really cool inbuilt features of the reports, but you also have custom reporting functionality, which allows you to create your own custom reports starting from our existing reports. That basically allows you to take the report and you can say, okay, I don't want these columns and I want these columns. I want to sort it this way or I want to group it that way. And I want it exportable in the CSV format, it's Excel format, or I want a beautiful looking PDF format. All of these features are there in ePlannerPro. So I'm going to take an example here so that you have a clear idea of how we help our customers, our users. So meet Sarah William. She's an event planner at her company, or she could be an event planner at an agency who is helping an enterprise company and helping their marketing team and sales team bring out their lead in advance by inviting them to the trade show that they are going to be exhibiting at. So don't want to just go there and stand in hand by hand after spending $2 million in the budget just to wait for people to come up to them. Instead, they want to invite people. They want to see what they are interested in. You want to make sure that they are scheduled in advance so everyone knows what time they're going to meet whom regarding what topics. Imagine that she could be doing this in multiple cities. There could be multiple events going on at a time. Now imagine handling all of this using spreadsheets like this, and then Outlook so that you can just send manually all the calendar notices. I mean, that's a lot of work, right? Imagine if you have a spreadsheet that basically you enter your information like what's the location of your event, what time zone it is in, what are the meeting room locations, and what times at what location, what's happening. Now imagine managing all of that in spreadsheets. And then every time there's a change, you have to see the availability of everything from the location and people. Our software solves that problem because that's where there is a better way than using a spreadsheet. So here's how the process works. So initially you set up your event, and to set up the event, you gather your event details, you build the meeting request forms or RSVP request forms, you set up the email templates that you want to set up to be able to automatically send the emails, calendar notifications, etc. Then you enter your event data. So you enter your topics, you enter your speakers, you link them, you set up your meeting rooms, demo locations, like demo booth 1, 2, 3, etc. And then once all of that is set up, you do your setup testing. In the testing, you can go ahead and act like you are a requester. You act like you are an internal person submitting a request on behalf of their client, versus you can act like you are an end customer who is accessing a request form and submitting a request. And then see how the whole process works. You can make sure, you can confirm the form functionality works right, and make sure that the event templates looks correct, etc. in your, in the email templates, calendar templates, etc. And once you confirm everything's fine, or you need to modify, you modify. It's all instantly updated. You don't have to email team or anybody else to wait for them to update the form or anything else. Yes, we are there to help you and support you, but otherwise you can go in and do all of these on your own. And the minute you feel like everything's good to go and correct, you can go ahead and launch the event. And in order to launch the event, all you have to do is to share the URL with your users, either through your social media, through your email, whichever way you want, through your company website, etc. Now, once that's done, how does it work for internal attendees? So imagine that you have your internal attendees, which are the sales team, and those people have their leads who they want to invite to at the trade show that you are exhibiting at. And they want to tell them that, hey, come on over. We have certain topics that we are going to be discussing about to have one-on-one meetings, or we also have all these demos that we are going to be presenting on based on all these different demo topics. So they could get the interest in advance by email from their sales leads, and based on that, internal attendee can log in to ePlannerPro using single sign-on so that they don't have to create another account. And once they log in, they can follow these steps, which includes submitting a meeting request, that meeting automatically scheduled, or it goes through event admin, depending on how the setup is, how the event is set up. Once it is scheduled, internal attendee and all the other attendees that are part of that meeting receives a calendar invite. Once that's done, at the time of the event, all they have to do is to show up and they get checked in and they attend the meeting with the client. How does it work for the external attendees? So if they are the external attendees, you would have already received the calendar notice based on what the internal attendees had submitted, and then they would have, all they have to do is to accept those calendar invites. Once it's accepted, it's confirmed, and then they just show up at the meeting or the demo, and they can get checked in and attend the meeting. Now, if the form was set up as an external form, request form, where you didn't want to involve your internal team, and you wanted to instead share the URL straight to your client, you can do that as well. So our forms can be set up as internal forms, external forms. Internal requires logging in, external requires no logging in. You share the URL whichever way you like to with your customers, and they can click and access the form. They can fill it up and submit the request. If it is set to auto schedule, it gets scheduled. If it has to go through approval process, whether it's a group admin approval process or executive approval process or event admin, whichever way you need, you can set it up and it goes through that process, and then it gets scheduled and it's notified. If it's an RSVP type of event, of course, it doesn't require typically anybody's approval. In that case, they instantly get the calendar notice, and those RSVP forms can be set up based on capacity as well with the waiting list feature. So here's a screenshot of how the event setup screen looks. This is just a sample screenshot that we are showing, where you see the event details at the top, where you can enter where you see your event name, the location, the dates, times, time zone in which the event will be happening, so that you know that you are sending out the calendar notifications in the correct time zones. And in the bottom of the screen, you can see the request forms. I'm going to later on take you to ePlannerPro's actual admin platform, so you will see all of the screens there as well, directly in the form. But for now, I'm quickly going through a few screenshots just to show you. This is a screenshot of the internal attendee screen. This is where you can either enter manually your internal attendees, or you can set it up so that anybody who logs in using the SSO automatically gets entered in the internal attendee screen, as well as you can also upload a spreadsheet or CSV file to be able to import all their data. Same thing happens with external attendees. Either you can upload the external attendee list, or they can be inputted directly from those forms where people are filling out and submitting the requests. This is an example of a custom branded meeting request form. This is something that you can build on your own using inbuilt form design feature within ePlannerPro. So all you have to do is to drag and drop different fields, whether it's a text box, a drop down, option button, checkbox, whatever. And you can make all of them dependent on each other. So it's basically a simple form builder. You can design your own form request form. Instead of having to access some kind of a HTML designer to say, can you create this form, and then waiting for a few days to create the form. This allows you to instantly create a form in no time and publish it. The minute you click on publish, the link is given to you. You can share that link, and instantly it's ready to use. By the way, this form, all the fields are also available to be mapped with the backend, so that anytime the request is submitted, or before it's submitted, if you want to pull in some data from the backend, let's say topics and speakers. So if somebody selects a topic, you want to display the next drop down, you want to show them only the speakers who are assigned to that topic, we can do it. That form automatically can work like that because it can be mapped to the backend like that. And then when the request is submitted, all the data gets saved in the backend of ePlannerPro. So it's available for you to do everything else that you need to do after that. This is an example or a screenshot of the event view of a scheduling screen. This is where you as an event admin can log in and either manually schedule, or you can, when you receive the request and you click on a schedule button, in case it wasn't set to auto schedule, then you are brought to this screen. All the data from the form automatically gets transferred in this screen, so you don't have to manually enter all the attendee data, the dates and times, etc., etc. Normally, if you're not using a tool like this, you'd be using some kind of a request that you receive by emails, and then you are copy pasting in your spreadsheets and copy pasting in your email software to confirm, to send somebody calendar notice. Instead, on this screen, all the data gets pulled in automatically. All you have to do is to assign a location and click on schedule, and it gets scheduled. This is a screenshot of the meeting requests. So this screen shows you all kinds of different meeting requests that you have received. This could be meeting request, demo request, session request, RSVP request, booth tour requests, etc., of course. Our software is very flexible that way. You can basically use it to confirm anybody's attendance for whatever it is that you're offering at your exhibit. These are the examples of some email confirmations as well as calendar notifications. And then this is a calendar view. So you can see on what date and time, which slots are available, so you can quickly schedule somebody. You can click on any of those blocked slots to see the details, or you can drag and drop to move a meeting to a different location or a different date or time. Here's the screenshots or pictures of our tablet, and which is right now, currently we are offering iPad app and an iPhone app, when we are coming up soon with the Android version as well. but these are the screenshots of the iPhone app and iPad app. These are very useful when you're on site. And when you are on site, you know that you don't want to have a laptop that's connected to the internet that might run out of the battery, etc. And you want to be able to quickly find the meeting that somebody, when a client walks up, you want to be able to show them their meeting, you want to see the details, and you want to be able to find the host to say, hey, your client is here, report to the front desk. Here's a screen that shows you on the iPad app how to schedule new meeting, and then reports that can be Excel format or whatever. And at the end of the event, of course, if you, meaning Sarah Williams, our example event planner, is ready for any other events, if she's managing any other events, she can just switch easily to another event and go into the other next events data and do the same thing. You can go back and forth between different events of yours without any problem. Now at this point, I'm going to pause and switch my display to the iPad to show you the iPad app view. And here we go. All right, so here you see the iPad app of ePlannerPro. This is assuming you've already logged in, selected your event, and then you came into the event. Not sure if you can see the colors clearly on your screen, just because they are kind of pastel colors, so it's possible they are not very clear, but there is typically these colors have meanings. Each meeting you can see has the meeting data. You can just touch the meeting and you can see the meeting data, including your date, time, location, external attendees, the topic, and you can check in when the client shows up by selecting that client's check-in, or if you want to check in everyone, you just select check in all, and that meeting changes the color in there. If you want to move a meeting to a different date or time, you just drag and drop to any other date or time or location, and it'll ask you, are you sure you would like to move to another time slot? You say yes. It'll ask you, would you like to send updated calendar notices? And you say yes. I'm going to say no at this time, and that way it will be moved to the new date and time location. If you wanted to edit the meeting, let's say the attendees came in, and then you realize that those clients have brought another colleague, and the colleague is not in the screen here in the list. So in that case, you can click on edit. It'll bring up the screen for the meeting where you can edit, where you can add people, remove people. You can also change the topic, or you can add a topic. You can change the meeting host over here, or you can click on add on the external attendee side and add another client real quickly. If you are integrated with the registration software, then you can also just scan their QR code on their badge and it will pop up these fields on their own. Otherwise, you can manually type in their first name, last name, email, and the company. That allows you to add the people in that meeting. You can change the meeting room location by selecting the location at the top as well. And if you are done, you click on submit and it saves that meeting. Over here, what you see right now is all the meeting locations. As you can see on the top, you see meeting location 1 through 5. Imagine these are the individual one-on-one meeting rooms or demo booths. But let's say you had a location that you also wanted to grab the data from that was all called off-site. Because many times people do host meetings at the coffee shops or at the hotel lobby or basically outside the booth. To grab those meetings, they might enter the meetings in off-site meeting location, which is what this is showing right here. This view basically shows you the list view of each location, which works the same way because it still shows you those meetings, and you can touch any of the meeting and see the details. That we can grab all the meeting data, whether they happened on-site or off-site. Over here, what you're seeing, let's say the meeting client walks up and he says, I'm Heather, I'm here for a meeting with my host, Abigail. And imagine that this is a trade show with 100 people. It's hard to find Abigail. So instead of you walking around and looking for Abigail, you can just use our SMS feature that basically automatically brings in all the attendee list and then default message that says your guest from whatever so-and-so company has arrived. Please come to the front desk to meet the client. At this point, you can check whoever you want to notify and then click on send SMS, and it sends the SMS only to that person. Pretty soon, we are adding the functionality to be able to notify the people besides regular SMS, but also through WhatsApp and and Slack channels as well as Teams integration. Currently, we have a Teams integration for the virtual or hybrid meetings. So any of these meetings that are scheduled, if you mark it as virtual or if you mark it as hybrid, it automatically creates a Teams link and inserts it in the calendar notices and sends it out to everyone. So again, there is no manual need to separately create a link, separately create a calendar notification, and separately manage it all in a spreadsheet. It's all done automatically for you here. You can see on the screen next to meeting type, there are options: hybrid, in-person, or virtual. If this was virtual or hybrid, it includes the meeting link automatically. Also, for each location, you can set the location capacity so that you don't accidentally book a meeting with more people than the capacity of that location. And sometimes if you may want to do that because let's say some executive is just going to drop by and then leave, but you want that executive to have that in their calendar. So in that case, you as an admin can set it up in such a way that you just get alerted if you are going over the capacity, but it doesn't block you from going over. But it blocks the request side. So if the requesters who are submitting a request and you don't want them to overbook based on the meeting room capacity, it will not allow them to overbook and then continue. All those things are based on how ePlannerPro is set up from the event setting, from the setup page. Besides this, of course, what you are seeing is a by date view. There's a by location view. So you can see that you can change the location to different locations, and you can see the meetings at that location also. And you can see what time the meeting rooms are not available, which is grayed out, which is like after 5 o'clock, for example. You can drag and drop this meeting to another day, date, if that's what you're trying to do. And it asks you, would you like to send calendar notice? If so, it'll send out the calendar notices. Now I'm going to take you back to my laptop to show you ePlannerPro's meetings admin view screens. This was the app itself was also the admin view, of course. But what we are trying to show you was the admin view of the app. The web-based version, of course, has a lot more features, which is where you can set up meeting locations, like I mentioned, the rooms and all, can create new forms, build forms, and set up the email templates, etc., etc. So to do that, I'm gonna switch to my browser here, and extend. There you go, you can see. Yes. All right, so for this view, I'm going to have to turn around as I can only see this here. Can I get this so that I can see the top? Because there are multiple tabs open and I need to be able to see which tab it is. Anyway, I can figure out. No worries. No worries. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can just change it to duplicate display. It's okay, actually. This is fine. This is fine. Yeah. All right, so this is an example of a custom branded meeting request form or RSVP form. Again, you can upload your own banners as headers or footers, and all of these fields are easily drag and droppable when you're building the form. These request forms can be set up as internal or external, of course. When you set up these request forms, you can come to your admin screen and you can see the dashboard that shows you all the forms. I guess I'm timed out. I'm gonna have to log in here. Well, let me just stay here now. This is gonna take a while to log in again and all. But this form, basically, this is an internal form. You can also have an external, like I said. Internal requires logging in, external doesn't require logging in. Other than that, I believe I have explained most of the other features regarding you can set up as many locations as you want. You can set up the limits on the locations. All the locations can start and end at different dates and times based on your setup, however you want. And all of those forms, as well as meetings and demos, can have its own templates based on the attendee types. So you can notify host with certain content. You can notify the internal attendees with certain other content. And then you can notify the external attendees with certain other content when you confirm their appointment. I believe that's about all that I think we can cover with ePlannerPro. If you have any other questions, anybody have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, you can feel free to email us. I can go ahead and get to the, I should have done from current slide there. Not sure if it switches there now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it does. All right, yep. So if you have any questions, you can email us at contact us at ePlannerPro.com.
Amazing. So I got one question for you from an event design perspective. You've dealt with so many different clients who have these kind of like hosted buyer programs, have these lots of appointments to do. What do you think is the sweet spot when it comes to event design for number of meetings that someone should put into their event, or how many meetings should they have?
So I think that typically what we see is that anywhere from 50 meetings to 500 meetings is some ePlannerPro is a perfect tool for that.
Nice.
Now, if you are as small as 10, 20 meetings, a lot of times people say, well, for that, we can easily manage manually. But then if you are going to expect at least 50 meetings or more at your trade show, where you're exhibiting at the trade show, you should use a tool like ours, because otherwise, not only it becomes a lot of headache for the event planner team, event admin team, because they have to manage lots and lots of emails, manually copy paste a lot of data, a lot of things can go wrong, and you have to check with so many people manually. Are you available at so-and-so date and time? Are you available at so-and-so date of time, etc.
Awesome. And if someone's interested in using your guys' software, what sort of information do they provide you so they can get the accurate pricing and save on the back and forth? Yeah. So probably number of meetings that they're probably doing. Yes. What other information is good to know?
Yeah, so we price based on, typically based on event. And it's event-based pricing, basically. We do offer an annual plan which comes with a package of buckets of forms and meetings, etc. But we also offer work with you on event-to-event basis, so that what we have seen is most of our clients have told us that every event has its own budget, and so we don't want to commit for the whole year because we don't know what's going to happen in a few months, kind of a thing.
For sure.
So this way they can they know that there's an event coming up and they have X amount of budget, and for them to get the quote, they have to tell us how many forms they are looking to set up, internal, external, RSVP, whatever types, as well as how many meetings or RSVPs they are expecting. And then based on that, we give them a quote, and that quote is flexible. So let's say if they go over, it's not like we just all of a sudden cut off their access. They can keep going. They just get an alert or that hey, you are about to approach your limit. Would you like to extend, or etc.
Awesome. So really willing to work with the planner.
Yes.
This is one of my favorite questions that Brand Kruger and I love to ask. Is there anything other than the size and number of meetings that people are having? Is there anything else that you're like, hey, this is probably not the best fit for us when it comes to a client to work with?
Yeah, so if you are a conference organizer yourself, and if you are looking to manage your own capacity with including registrations and all the other things, the payment processing and all, we don't offer that feature. We typically partner up with the registrant companies. So that's where our partnership comes in. The registrant companies offers the event platform to allow the attendees to register, make a payment, etc., etc. But then if you have any kind of one-on-one meeting or demos, kind of a setup or workshop sessions where people can sign up, that's the part where we come in.
Amazing.
So either for you as a conference organizer or for your exhibitors to be able to use our tool by partnering up with your registrant team tool that integrates the data. And so there's no duplication of data entering required.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for the incredible demo and showing us all the details, showing us the iPad demo as well. We appreciate it so much. And yeah, where do people go if they want to find out more?
They can go to www.eplannerpro.com.
Awesome.
ePlanner stands for event planner. So it's ePlannerPro.com.
Easy to remember. Well, thank you everybody for coming and joining us as well. And yeah, I hope everybody had an absolutely amazing ETL. We'll let you